Take a look at these three sentences. I'd like you to see how many action words you can find. We'll do the first one together. Looking out of the window, I saw some students playing football. How many action words are there? Looking out, I saw, and playing. Now take a look at the second sentence. Quintus caught sight of a dog attacking Clemens. Where are the action words here? We have caught sight and we have attacking. And how about in this third sentence? The action words are laughing and white. Right, so we've decided which words are action words. But which of these in each sentence is the main verb? There can only be one main verb in each sentence. Take another look at this first sentence. Which of these three actions is the main one? It's I saw. What then are the other two? Why do you think they've been included? Now take another look at the second sentence. Can you find the main verb here? It's caught sight. And in the third sentence, the main verb here is wiped. What we'll be exploring today are actions in a sentence that aren't the main verb. Before we move on, take another look at the words with red boxes around them. Can you spot anything in common? They all end in ing. They are action words that are describing a noun, much like an adjective would. For example, in the second sentence, attacking is describing the dog. In the third, laughing describes Eutychus while he wiped his hands on that poor slave's hair. These action words that aren't the main verb of a sentence are called participles. A participle is a part of a verb, but it is not a main verb. Participles in English, if they are present participles, usually end in the letters ing. Now, participles are formed from the verb, but it's used to describe a noun, exactly like an adjective. Let's take a look at one more sentence in English to make sure we've got this. Walking along the road, the boy saw a dog. Where are my action words? Which one is the main verb, and which one is my participle? Saw is my main verb. Walking is the participle. It's describing the boy. It ends in ing. Now we're going to take a look at this in Latin. Servi ad villam revenerunt barbillum portantes. What are the slaves described as doing when they returned to the house? Think about the Latin word porto, portare. The slaves are carrying barbillus. The slaves returned to the house carrying barbillus. Right, let's apply our knowledge. What is the main verb in this sentence? Perhaps look at the English first. The main verb is returned. In the Latin, that's revenerunt. Where then is the participle? What word is describing the slaves? It's carrying, or in the Latin, portantes. Let's have another go. Ancillae prope lectum stabant lacrimantes. What are the slave girls described as doing as they stood near the couch? What does the Latin verb lacrymo, lacrimare mean? The slave girls are described as crying. The slave girls were standing near the couch, crying. Again, what is the main verb in this sentence? It's were standing, or stavant. Which other action word describes the slave girls? It's crying, or in the Latin, lacrimantes. The words in red are called present participles. Before we move on, and before I explain this a little more, I'd like you to see if you can find any similarities between the two Latin words portantes and lacrimantes. They both have an NT in them. How then do present participles work in Latin? Because participles are describing words, they work like adjectives. Therefore, they must agree with the noun they describe. Can you remember the 3 ways adjectives agree with nouns? Adjectives and participles agree with nouns in case, number, and gender. Now, the endings of the present participle are the same as third declension nouns, so there's nothing new for you to learn, no new endings for you to learn here. These are what some of your present participles could look like. Now, the quickest way to spot present participles in Latin is to look for the NS if it's in the nominative singular, or an NT for all our other endings. You can see on our table here that we have NS in the nominative singular and NT for all other endings. Let's go back and take a look at these 2 sentences. Now that we know participles agree with nouns in the same way adjectives do, can you identify the case, number and gender of the noun and participle in these sentences? We'll do the first one together. We know that portantes is our participle. Who is it describing? It's describing the slaves. Now, what case are the slaves in? They're in the nominative because they are doing the main action. They returned. What about number? Well, there's more than one slave, so it's plural. And what about the gender of the noun servi? It's masculine. You can see from the table that the nominative plural has an NT in it, which is exactly what you can see in this sentence here. Now I'd like you to have a go at this second sentence. Can you work out the case, number and gender of the noun and participle? The participle is lacrimantes. You need to decide who it is describing. The participle here is describing the slave girls. The slave girls are in the nominative case. They were standing. There's more than one, so it's plural. And the gender of the noun ankylai is feminine. So here, once again, nominative plural, we have NT, you can see in lacrimantes. So lacrimantes is agreeing with ankylai, much like portantes is agreeing with servi. So, a quick summary then of the present participle. Welcome to the wonderful world of hybrid animals. A participle is formed from a verb, and because it is used to describe a noun, it works like an adjective. So here we've got half a pig and half a crock. The telltale sign of the present participle in Latin is NS if the noun and participle are in the nominative singular, and for all other endings, you'll spot the present participle with an NT. In English, we're going to translate our participle using the letters ING. So here, our poor crock of pork is crying, and that's present participles.